What's up, everyone, and welcome to JMD. We're back here for some more music reactions, and we have something new. If you we've covered I Prevail before. I've done a couple of songs, especially from their new stuff, and I've been a fan of I Prevail from when they first come out. And as I have even stated, in the new stuff, there was clearly somebody was missing, and it was the one of the founding singers, one of the founding vocalists for I Prevail was no longer there, and that is Brian Burkheiser. All right, and I just got through watching like a reveal a couple of days ago. He did a thing with I think it was Rock Feed. It's long, like over an hour long, hour and a half long, I think almost. Of him kind of going over from the beginning all the way through to what happened, basically his whole life. It's almost like a documentary. And it was really, really good. Clearly he had some vocal issues over the years, and some other things that happened in his throat and stuff. And he had a lot of things, surgeries. He's had multiple surgeries, and all of that eventually put a strain on him physically, mentally, put a strain on the band. A lot of things were happening. A lot of things happened and went down. And to some degree, he even had basically a manic state, and even was put into a mental institution for a short while. It was a really interesting video, documentary kind of thing. I recommend you check that out if you would like to. But it was all in the lieu of him releasing new music. So he has a couple, I think a day before that released, we have what he's calling is his new band group, kind of a solo project thing, but it's called Scatterbrain. And the new song Phases he's released with it. So we're going to check it out, see what it's like, see what we got going on here. I'm very interested to hear it. This is after all of that, and he's yes, he's still, I think, it feels like he's in a continued like repairing state, but we're going to see what we got here. See where this is at, like I said, after multiple vocal surgeries and throat surgeries and things to fix a lot of the problems and issues that he was having. So it's going to be interesting. Because he even at some point stated how he had to like rethink even his tones and stuff, so it might sound a little bit different. I don't know. We're going to check it out. So thank you very much for joining me here on JMD. If you are new here, welcome. If you like to check out videos from the rest of my channel, please do so. Consider subscribing, like, share, comment, all the good stuff. Check out more to help grow and get more videos in front of more people. That'd be amazing. If you want to check out videos from my other channels, plays, ClearTalk, puzzling, if you like what you see there, consider subscribing to those. That would be awesome. Patreon there, $3 a month. Support any of the channels you would like to help grow those channels, help grow Patreon, help grow JMD Nation, and contribute however you would like. Any contribution support you give is very much appreciated. Thank you very much. You help keep me doing this, and I would love to keep doing this a lot, for as long as possible, and even permanently if you would like. But it would help. It would need a little support there in order to do so. So thank you very much for joining me. If you're returning, you're freaking amazing. You are amazing, and welcome back. Keep coming back, because you are what makes JMD Nation. All right, so we have, again, like I said, we're going to swap over here. Scatterbrain, Phases is the song. Let's see what he's giving us. 4 minutes 8 seconds, not bad for timing. Let's go. 12 years ago, I started a band. It became a huge success, but success comes with a price. This is my story. These are my phases. I've always been an introvert. I had no real plan for my life until I discovered I could sing. So I dropped out of college, chased my dreams.
So much for a happy ending. Everything suddenly vanished. Can't find peace of mind. I'm damaged. Didn't go the way I planned.
So I quit my job.
I've been on my own, going through some changes. I'm not gonna lie. Been going through some phases. Every single night, I've been getting fed. You don't like to start, but you control the ending. Now I'm gone.
Expectations became relentless. I was almost running out, falling apart. Going to stop real. Next day, visiting Mr.
I've been on my own,
found the
going through
vocal
some changes. I'm not
put
gonna
on complete
lie.
vocal
Been
rest. Our
going
turban
through
on
some
without me.
phases. Every single
I was
night,
heartbroken.
I've been getting fed. You don't like to start, but you control the
Do I give up?
Cause nights like this, they drag on
Surgery,
and on.
relationship, blossom,
Hope you got everything
prioritize
you
family.
ever
Met
wanted.
doctor.
Turns out that
He
I
helped me with my mental health. Got me back on track. The next few years were surreal. I shared my trauma, played iconic venues, joined a vocal company, gave back to my parents, was Grammy nominated, married my best friend. I thought I had it all for good.
I've been on my own, going through some changes.
I lost loved ones, anxiety, depression, fatigue, pain. I knew something was off. People made me feel crazy. But after years of dead ends, I met Dr. Osborne, 22. He diagnosed with a rare condition, Eagle syndrome, the singer's worst nightmare. A coronary priority to my upward placement that put me back in dark place. I thought things would get better. Found out I was going to be a dad. I finally got the surgeries. I needed more time to heal, which led to a divide. Decisions were made behind my back. I was shut out, pushed away. Played my final shows, but I couldn't give up. So I linked with old friends and started writing songs. That came from the heart. Then our son was born. He changed everything. Life got heavy. 25 was chaotic. False narratives were spread. Agreements led to a manic break. My life flashed before my eyes. I just wasn't not ready. My family checked me into a mental health facility. Some days are still hard, but I know I'm on here.
Every single night, I've been getting faded. You don't write the start, but you
You
control
helped
the
me find
end. Now I'm gone.
my purpose. Huh. I hope my story inspired you to share yours. Well, that was interesting. Yeah, that's pretty much was a summary of the long interview to some degree. A very, very, yeah, restricted summary, but interesting. Vocally, as far as the music, I was listening, but I was also reading. I know that was probably a little distracting. It was hard to really follow the music, but it was there, and you were, I can multi listen. The music was really actually pretty good. It sounded very much like, even to some degree, sounded very much like the I Prevail stuff. You had the more kind of poppy setback with the program beats and stuff at first, which I was wondering for a second if that was going to be the whole song. But then he dove into a harder rock, which he's stated even in that documentary that rock is where he sits. Like, he started out in hip hop music as far as like what he listened to and what he gravitated to, but then ultimately over time, rock was where he set into, and like and where he felt the most like naturally just sort of connecting to. And so yeah, it had that portion there where it went more heavy into some rock stuff, rock feel and sound, pretty good, and then jump back out right there at the end to kind of chill back out. And I think it was even pretty well placed even in that part with what was being talked about, because it got heavy through the parts where I think even he was, would argue was probably his heaviest point, where he was having the more manic state, and he was put into a mental institution, and was needing was in his darkest time, needing help, and so it sort of fell perfectly in line with that in the story. So the song was pretty much was laid out pretty well for that. Um, I did not follow lyrics as far as what he was saying, but I wonder if there's. Oh well, yeah, the lyrics are here. Um, let's see here. So much for a happy ending. Everything suddenly vanished. Can't find peace of mind. I'm damaged. Didn't go the way I planned it. A fault in the stars, a chemical imbalance. You fucked up with my head, and I let you allow it. Believe what you say. Believed what you said. Emotional malice. We take what we get, and that's why. I've been on my own, going through some changes. I think this is the chorus. I'm not gonna lie, been going through some phases. Every single night, I've been getting faded. You don't write the start, but you control the ending. Now I'm gone. Um, I've been on my own, going through some changes. I'm not gonna lie, with the phases. Blah, blah, blah. Every single night. Right, it's the same thing, but without the night. Because nights like this, they drag on and on. Hope you got everything you ever wanted. Turns out that I just wasn't good enough, and now I'm barely holding on to something everyone wants it. Make a lot of people turn their backs like it's nothing. Fame will come up on you. It's a curse in the night, yeah, but you put you in the coffin in the dirt. And then, of course, part of the chorus again. I've been faded, feels a little fucked up. Can't believe you played me. And now I'm on my own, going through some phases. Oh, it's the same thing over again. So a couple of slight adjustments there, but it's over in a blink of an eye. Guess it's over. I can't believe you left me to die. It's not what I wanted, but it's what I got. Turns out it's for the best. Things just don't work out. Now I gotta let you go. Gotta move on with my life. I've been on my own, going through some changes. I'm not gonna lie, I've been through some phases. Every single night, I've been getting faded. You don't write the start, but you control the ending. Now I'm gone. Yeah. So I think to some degree, this is sort of speaking in lieu of the band. I prevail. But it's him, moving past it. I mean, I think to some degree he feels a little hurt by because he even stated that said to some degree in the documentary thing, or whatever the interview, that that there were moments where when he was talking about stuff, especially the second time around when he started having problems again with his vocals and his throat, when they wind up diagnosing him eventually, which took some time even, with the eagle syndrome thing, which is some kind of like a issue with the ligaments in your throat where they there's some kind of a, I don't know, like I think it's maybe he said something like a calcification or something. It causes them to do some weird stuff, and it causes a lot of pain and stuff. And for a while there, when it was going undiagnosed, because people, like, he went to several doctors and they didn't know what was going on. They was like, your vocals are fine, everything seems fine. I don't know, basically it was almost coming off as if he was just making it up. And even some of the band members, I think, were like, he felt like they just didn't believe him. And so there was a lot of, that hurt him, and even put him in a state where he was starting to think that he was crazy. And because they were thinking he was crazy, and so it was just a whole thing. So I think to some degree he feels some resentment a little bit, maybe, or just like, kind of hates the way it all went down, and felt like he may have just been, he was kind of just pushed out without really, even though he was a part in the founding of the band. And I get that. But to some degree they're pushed by the industry and by their, everybody to keep going. They've got to write stuff, got to put out stuff, and he wasn't ready. So, it came to a point where he, there was this. I'm sure the decision was. It seemed as if the decision was not his whatsoever. It was kind of pushed on him, although it was kind of played out that he kind of made the decision or was a part of the decision, but according to him, he kind of wasn't. So I mean, it is what it is there. I mean, everybody's got to have. I mean, it would be more on the band if they were a little bit more honest on that, I guess. It kind of does feel a little weird for the band there, as far as the story goes or the narrative, but I don't know. I guess we may not really ever know. Who knows? Unless the band does come out and be like, yeah, it kind of wasn't. I don't know. But I don't know. I'm not really going to harp on that too much. It is what it is. But he is, in a better state now. He's working with some older, like the previous band. I think members from the previous band before I Prevail. He's kind of gotten with them a little bit, some of the guys from there, and working with this new stuff. And apparently plans to put out. He's not stopping. He said he's going to continue. This is his career. This is what he has always wanted, and he feels good now, like mentally better, physically better. His vocals feel better, and he wants to continue doing it. So that's cool. Because I was wondering what was going on there. Why, and I didn't really know why, honestly. But yeah, it was a really good interview. I'd suggest checking it out. It's this one right here actually. With Rock Feed. So check that out if you'd like to get more of that story. But yeah, I think it was pretty cool. And yeah, the song wasn't bad. I look forward to hearing more and what he decides to produce. So yeah, his vocals sound, but he sounds the same. Because I got this weird feeling from the interview, like he had to retrain his vocal tone and stuff. Like he almost sounded a little bit different or something, or I hate to retrain how he went about his tone, which maybe, I mean, to some degree, maybe that is true. Like he's maybe just in a way of being healthier with his vocals and how he performs, maybe more so than like an adjustment that he had to make literally on his tone. But I just may have taken that the wrong way because he sounds pretty much the same to me. But if he is, has figured out a better techniques or better, whatever it is, warm ups or just a different way of how he projects his vocals or whatever, for his own like health, vocal health and stuff, then that's great. I mean, every singer to some degree kind of needs to do that. For longevity and to keep from just hurting their vocals. But yeah, it was pretty cool. It's a good song, So yeah, I know it's a long video, but thank you very much for joining me. Let me know what you think, and yeah. Until next time, JMD. I'm out.